What we get to do in this community is we do a lot of inner work, but we do it in community. It's powerful. And when we start doing that inner work, frequently we will connect with someone, an individual, and so we start to form something, a bond, we make a connection. Whether it's a romantic connection, whether it's a connection in community, but what comes from that is we create a family together. And by creating that family, that nucleus, that unit, we can expand and we start to make connections in the broader community. And then we have like the community of this spiritual community. We have the community of Fallbrook, the community of San Diego, of California, of the United States, and of the world. So there are little microcosms of this macrocosm, of this universal community that we come together in. And this is an amazing process. It's an amazing experience. And, the idea that no man or woman is an island. We are hardwired to make connections. We are hardwired to be social creatures. And so it's just natural that it flows out and we create these expansive communities. Brene Brown says, love is not something we give or get. It is something that we nurture and grow. A connection that can only be cultivated between two people when it exists within each one of them. We can only love others as much as we love ourselves. So we begin with the inner work. We begin with ourselves, and we learn to love ourselves, and then we can love the other, and we can give to the other. I remember my first experience. I have to preface by saying this. I used to be really cool. I don't know. I used to be really cool. I was like hip and tough. People would see me and they'd say, she looks tough, she looks kind of mean, and I was like, yeah. And I liked that, image, I guess. And when I was born, this is sort of like my family lore, the first thing my dad said when he saw me was, she looks mean. So I kind of like went through my life with this idea that, I'm kind of mean, I'm kind of tough, I'm a chick, And so I was in LA, and I was tough. I had on my armor, I was like hanging out and stuff, and I was on Melrose Avenue, and we were getting ready to cross the street. And before we crossed the street, a car was turning, and as that car was turning, another car ran a red light and hit it. An accident happened, and so I crossed the street, and I was like, wow, that's too bad, dude, and crossed the street, and I was walking on the sidewalk, and the guy who had ran the red light had pulled over, and he was sitting there, and I walked past him on the sidewalk, and it was an elderly gentleman, and he was visibly shaken. He was literally shaking in his car, and it was like I had this experience that I had never had before, and I saw that man, and it was like my heart burst open, and I just went to him and, and asked if he was okay, and he was okay, but it was like that experience of connection, of connecting with another human being, of compassion, and it just made it so real for me, and I'm so grateful for those experiences and the experience of having children and connecting with my children in the ways that I've connected with my children, because it just makes it so real, So when I came into this church and this philosophy, I knew what you were talking about was real, because I'd had that experience. I knew we are all one. And, now I knew it just sort of like to my innermost self, and now like science is proving it, and, we're all made of the same thing, and all that, but I'm so grateful for that experience. And I don't know who that man is or where he is. He's probably long gone, because that was a long time ago. But, it's amazing how we touch lives of another. He touched my life, and he had no idea. We just had that brief contact. And those little aha moments, isn't that what life is all about? And, in our journal, Leap Into Life, it talks about connection is about the 6 C's. I'm going to read it because it's good. Community, compassion, caring, commitment, communication, and celebration. You have to have community in order to connect with others. some place where you feel safe, loved, and valued. Out of that love comes compassion, what you feel, and caring, what you do. We reciprocate in our commitment to one another. In order to do that, we have to communicate constantly. Finally, we celebrate the joy of it all. This is what brings us together. It makes the world go round and creates peace. So, can we practice those 6 C's in our lives? Can we make a decision to do that in our life? Be in community, express compassion and caring, make a commitment, communicate, and celebrate. That's what we do here. That's what we do here at the Hilltop Center. Isn't that true? That's what we do. And yet, we resist community sometimes. We resist connecting. Something that people might not know about me is I'm actually an introvert. I know. Introvert. What I mean by introvert, I'm not afraid of people. I'm not shy. Everybody knows that. But I get my energy by being alone. I get my energy, I get recharged in my quiet time. I'm the mother of 3, I don't get a lot of quiet time. But, that's where I get my energy. And when I'm in community, when I'm in groups, I kind of get drained. When I leave, I'll arrive late and leave early feeling drained. People who are extroverts will arrive early and leave late feeling energized, so that's kind of the difference. And so I have resisted, in many ways, jumping in and being part of the community, and some of us do that. We resist. And what are we resisting? And why are we resisting? That's something to ask yourself. Why are you resisting? As practitioners, we look at the conditions in people's lives when they come to us. And the truth that we know about any condition, whether it be a financial condition, a relationship condition, a health condition, the truth that we know is that there's a belief in separation that is causing the condition in the life of the person who is coming to us. So let's just take a moment right now to think about a condition in your life. Do you have an argument with somebody? Are you looking for work? Do you have a health challenge? What is a condition in your life that you would like to change, that you would like to improve? And think about where the belief in separation is. Where have you brought a belief that you're separate from your good? Where's the belief that there's not enough money, that you're separate from money? Where's the belief that you're separate from the person you're having an argument with? Where's the belief that you are having a health challenge because you're separate? God is perfect health and perfect wholeness. So when we know our oneness with the divine, then the condition is healed. And so, what I was talking to about the kid, when I was talking to the kids in my preparation for the talk, I don't know, I was going to say research, but I don't know if it's research. I guess it's just sort of preparation. I just started looking throughout the week for examples of connection. And so I listened to this recording of John Gray, who is the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's a good book about connection. And he was talking about how we gravitate towards our similarities. We look for the similarities. And our real growth opportunity is in our differences, in exploring our differences. If you notice, I have noticed for some reason in the work environment that similar groups group together, like going to lunch, for example. The whites go to lunch together, the Filipinos go to lunch together, the Hispanics, the blacks. They sort of segregate themselves because we're always looking for the similarities. We're looking to connect with somebody that we can relate to, who is similar to us, that we can feel comfortable, and we can feel okay with who we are when somebody else is like us, right? But imagine the opportunities for growth if we connect with somebody who's different. Think about the people in this community. We have little microcosms, micro-communities within this community, whether it be Spirit Hill, or the practitioners, or they used to call themselves the Merry Pranksters, or, a hiking group, or a class, or whatever. We have these little microcosms of our community, and it plays itself out in the broader community as well. But think about how you might grow and open yourself up to new experiences if you reach out to somebody who's different, somebody you wouldn't normally talk to, somebody you wouldn't normally go to lunch with or sit with in a group. So, you didn't think I was going to let you go without homework, right? The good thing about this homework is that you are at choice. You don't have to turn it in, but I'd be happy to hear about your results from doing it. And it comes from our journal, Leap Into Life. And so if you don't have this, you can get it in the bookstore. I think if you made a pledge, you were able to get a copy for free. But I think we can make terms if necessary. So it says, the next time you're in a public place, it says church or the grocery store, DMV, a club, the library, wherever, where there are a lot of other people, stand or sit next to someone you wouldn't normally go near. Do a spot check with yourself. Do you feel judgment? Do you feel fear? Would you talk to them? Would you help them? Then go within and do some on-the-spot healing work. Is there some place that you need to practice forgiveness? Do you need to forgive yourself? Do you need to forgive the person that they represent? It's a good exercise. And then in your meditation practice, feel the energy field around you expanding as you begin to include more people in your life. Know that God's love guides and guards you. Know that God's love is healing the illusion that we are separate. God's love heals the illusion that we're separate. And it really is just an illusion. Let's pray. So I just turned